signature power.
Now I have a friend named Rufus Xavier Sarsaparilla, and I could say that Rufus found a kangaroo that followed Rufus home, and now that kangaroo belongs to Rufus Xavier Sarsaparilla.
Hey, what's up, guys? I want to start this off by saying the reality is really fucking stupid. Like, just retarded copy paste simulation fucking nonsense. Because I just made a comment on Billy's video, or Billy's community post rather, about the lady who did teeth work on an ex-convict, right, for free. And they're all, she's all virtue signaling about that on Facebook or whatever the social media she's on, And I didn't watch the video, but I left a comment basically saying, thousands of people, thousands of children in the United States alone that could use work like that, like free dental work. And she chooses an ex-convict. That's fucking crazy to me, man. And I'm not saying like this guy doesn't deserve it or whatever, but it's like, holy shit. Find something better to virtue signal about, right? Maybe I'm virtue signaling, but anyway. So right after, not even 10 minutes later, I'm walking out the door to my job, right? Pushing boxes all day. Got through pushing boxes for 10 hours. I'm walking out the door, and I'm just walking in my car, and I hear a voice. Sounds super. I'm very good with voices, so it immediately sounded really, really familiar. And the person was like, "Hey, Rudy," And I turned around because I was like, that voice is like super familiar. Turns out it was a woman I used to work with named Emily, who just happened to be an ex-convict. And that's what I mean, like copy paste reality. Like I just got through commenting about an ex-convict, and lo and behold, an ex-con, speaks my name out as I'm walking out the door, and and she's cool as fuck, man. I love that girl when I work with her. She's super cool. She probably liked me because I didn't judge her. I've worked with a few ex-convicts actually, I don't know. I feel like Andy from Shawshank Redemption in the sense where I feel like I'm untouchable, but at the same time, people like that really like me because I guess I don't judge them. And they get that vibe that I'm not judging them, even when I do ask questions or I do pose a morality choice, right? I talk about the morality, not necessarily about what they did, but just in general. I don't know, it's weird. I guess you'd have to have a conversation with me to really understand. But so just that weirdness, synchronicity, I guess, fucking stupid copy paste simulation bullshit as usual. But anyway, I wanted to talk about I believe it was Billy's community post this morning about oh shit, what was it? Let me check. All right, it was the Hanging Man stuff this morning, which was very strange. I left a community post talking about it, but in essence, so yesterday I was looking up magnetic strips because I wanted to pin some posters up on my wall without putting holes in my wall. Like I didn't want to use thumbtacks or anything like that, so I was kind of researching ways I could do that, and magnets seem to be one of the better alternatives right now. Right now I'm using masking tape, which seems to be working out really well, so I think I might stick with that method. But anyway, I had come across some magnetic strips, and in the user reviews or the Amazon reviews, I kept running into this imagery of people using the magnetic strips to hang their toys, like in a dollhouse, only they were putting them in there like upside down, and there's like more than one person reviewing the magnetic strips that did that, and I thought that was the weirdest fucking thing. I was like, huh, what the fuck, what is this about? So kind of, completely caught my attention. I was like, why, what is this shit? This is so fucking weird. Like, who thinks of this kind of deal? And more than one Amazon review had that kind of imagery in their review, and it was all Disney characters, by the way, so that was fucking weird too. So and then Billy made a post this morning, and I was like half asleep when I saw this, and I saw in the thumbnail it was a girl hanging from a coat rack, right? But it looked like she was kind of hanging from it by her neck, kind of looked like that a little bit. So I was like, what is this more, this theme of hanging things, right? And then I remembered this morning, I had yesterday, not this morning, but yesterday I had noticed the Hangman toy, which is like one of those on-the-go toys that are like $5 you just buy for your kid to get him to shut up during the car ride, right? So it was the Hangman game, you know, the game where you spell and all that. It was just called Hangman, you know, and I noticed that yesterday as I was walking by it, and kind of thought to myself, you know, that's kind of weird that there's even a toy like that, since it kind of implies not necessarily suicide, but the imagery, the mental imagery is pretty intense, right? For a little kid, maybe, who knows? Kids are tougher than we give them credit for. But, you know, I noticed that yesterday, and then had the incident, this theme of things hanging, right? Things hanging upside down. And then Billy posted that video about the woman who kept hanging from a coat rack, and I don't really understand Spanish that well, so I'm not 100% sure what the video was about, but it was a Mexican woman in a music video, where is this reoccurring theme of her hanging herself from a coat rack, you know, by the jacket, not necessarily hanging by her neck, but by the collar of her jacket, right? And there's a lot of that imagery in it, so I was like, what the fuck? And then and I used to do about 2 years ago, I did the Hanging Man symbology, you know, the Hanging Man tarot card. I kind of went over that and how it's related to the peace symbol, how it's related to nuclear disarmament, how it's related to 9/11 jumpers. What else? Oh, the womb. Typically when the baby is in the womb, they're upside down, you know. So the peace symbol in that way represents a lot of things. It represents the baby in the womb, the unborn child. It represents nuclear disarmament. It represents the corona. It represents the sun. But to me, most of all, it represents the Hanging Man tarot card, okay? I just wanted to kind of talk about that for a minute, just the fucking crazy synchronicity of that, you know? And also, I wanted to go over what Billy said in one of his last community posts as well, where he was kind of going over this fucking cunt that he works for, and her, you know, her shitty attitude, right? Her terrible attitude, the way she kind of treats him, according to Billy, right? I don't really know. Taking Billy's word for it, I consider him a friend. He seems like a real good guy. This doesn't seem like something he would lie about. That'd be a really strange thing. So, and it seems totally, what he says totally fits kind of that narcissistic kind of woman that I can picture. You know what I mean? Like this, yeah, I can totally see this lady acting like this with him. And it's always strange. More than one occasion, it's involved her dog. And I haven't talked about dogs in a little while, but there's proclivity of antisocial kind of narcissistic tendencies that dog nutters seem to have. All right. And I'm not saying it's because of the dog ownership. I'm just saying the dog ownership is a symptom of these other antisocial narcissistic traits. You know what I mean? So it's not about her really being a dog nutter. That's just one aspect of her, like, psychopathy, whatever fucking fancy word you want to use. Her psychological profile, right? The dog nuttery is tied to this narcissistic behavior, in my opinion. Not even in my opinion, that's probably a fucking matter of fact, actually. Because narcissism tends to run deep when it comes to dog nuttery. When I say dog nuttery, I mean like the truly crazy dog nutters that are like, you know, dogs can do no wrong, everything about my pupper. You know, this bullshit with blaming Billy for everything her fucking mutt does. It's like, oh, left the door open, an accident. I don't know if that's really happened, but I guarantee you it's like, oh, left the door open, an accident. You know, I'm gonna blame this person instead of just training your stupid fucking mutt not to run out, or training your stupid fucking mutt not to eat a random thing, or train your stupid fucking mutt not to shit on the porch. Instead of that, no, you blame the person, right? And if she had a child, she'd be blaming the child. Or if she had a husband, she'd be blaming the husband. Everything but blaming the dog, right? Because dogs can do no wrong. Dogs are gods. Dogs are deities, etc. And that's the way the world functions, okay? Dogs are demigods on this plane. Got it? Just to go over that. All right. It's metaphysical. It's always metaphysical. Dogs are deities in this reality, especially to these people. Oh yeah, I wanted to bring up the other thing he's been talking about lately, which is this feeling he has that the dark reality, right? The dark reality is attempting to stop him from doing what he wants to do. And I actually know how that feels at the metaphysical level, where it's like you feel as if, okay, I'll give an example of what I went through, okay? And what I went through is nothing in comparison to what Billy's going through, because Billy's dealing with potential homelessness and all that, and struggling, like real struggle, okay? What I went through wasn't shit, but nevertheless I went through it, okay? So it matters to me. So I felt as if I was being attacked at a metaphysical level when the overnight shift got taken away and I got moved to day shift, okay? I felt like I was being attacked personally by the not necessarily the reality, but some kind of dark force, some kind of dark entity, okay? So I know how he feels in that regard, but it's one of those things where it's like, I realized that the potential of me moving to day shift is just another chapter, another means of using my energy, right? They're trying to take this away from me because I'm too powerful, right? Working the overnights the way I was too powerful of an entity for them to handle. I truly believe that with all my heart, that I was being stopped in some way. You know what I mean? Because I was becoming too powerful. I had way too much time to study audiobooks about metaphysics, or to gather my thoughts, or to be alone. Like, the last thing the reality wants is for you to be alone with your thoughts. And that goes for everybody here. And I spent a lot of time alone with my own thoughts when I worked overnight, and that was too much for the reality to handle, or at the very least too much for this dark entity to handle. It's too much positive energy, too much mystic energy, you know? Been talking about mystics a lot lately. So at first, I was pretty dour about it. I was really depressed for a little while. For like maybe like a week or two, I was pretty broken up, like, not only because it is a change to the way my daily life is going to be, but I realized I wasn't going to spend as much time with my daughter as I wanted to, and that really fucked with me, okay? And that's exactly what this dark entity wanted, was to me to be weak in that way. So, as I already said, I flipped the script and said, no, this is going to be something new. God is placing me in this day shift for a reason. There's something going on in the day shift, or at least something that I can do in the day shift that can shift the reality even more so than it has been, because I'm a reality shifter, man. I'm a reality bender, okay? I'm a mystic. Billy's a mystic, Kirk's a mystic, fucking Matt's definitely a mystic. Holy shit. We're all mystics in this motherfucker. Denkeeper, Autumn Luma, Foderic, Froderick. All mystics in this motherfucker. And we make things happen. We create the world. We create this reality. We bend reality. Just by witnessing the events. So I'm saying this as a kind of reassurance, where it's like, Billy, like, and it's easy for me on the outside looking in to say things like this, but it's like, I think you're meant for something else. And it may seem cruel and unusual that maybe there is a dark entity specifically targeting you, because I got that feeling too, man. Like when they basically try to make homelessness illegal, right? Ain't no telling that's what that's gonna mean for camping and all of that shit. Ain't no telling how it's gonna be enforced either, because you just never know how these things play out. But the dark reality comes after me, thinking it's taking away my power, right? And there's a meme in the Ruby Spears Mega Man cartoon where he's Mega Man's voiced by Goku, the guy who plays Goku in the dub, the Dragon Ball Z dub, where he takes Pharaoh Man's power, right? And it goes into a close-up to the faces, and now I have your power, or something like that. And Pharaoh Man just punches him in the face and knocks him clear across the field. It's like, holy shit, dude. That's some big dick energy. It's like, yeah, that's me. Like, motherfucking dark reality thinks it's taking my power, right? It's like, bitch, you're not taking my power. What's wrong with you? Anyway, I'll put a clip of that because it's really funny. But yeah, I think that about covers it. Yeah, I feel I'm reading what I put on here. I feel as if the ownership was taken away from me. Seeing how maybe a dark reality felt as I was getting too powerful, but always kept in mind that I'll take this new energy and do something with it. Hey, how's it going, guys? So this is going to be an addendum to the last recording I did, because I forgot to mention something. So a few days ago, probably around 5 days ago, I was running late. Well, not late, but I was running a little bit late to my morning shift. You know, I got to be here like at 5:45, and we have to open at 6 o'clock, so we have to have the door open by 6. And I was running like maybe like 3 minutes late than usual. I don't know what it was. When I left the house, it was like, there's a neighborhood down here near where I work that has a lot of cats. It's like basically a cat neighborhood. They're everywhere. It's actually where I got my cat Minnie. He's like a bobtail, Bombay bobtail cat, meaning he's all black with a little stub for a tail. He's a big cat, so that's where I got him from. Every now and then I'll see a bobtails running around, all different colors. Most of them are black, some of them are calico, but you can tell that they're related, right? But anyway, this is besides the point. I told myself as I was leaving that since I'm in a hurry, a cat's gonna run in front of my car as I'm driving. And as I'm driving through that neighborhood, lo and behold, a cat runs in front of my car. So it was just kind of a silly thing. I just wanted to tell that story. I meant to tell it. Just strangeness involving cats, and of course that doesn't end there. The stuff that I don't even talk about anymore, like the cat with the 88, the Uno card from a while back, and it just so happens on 8/8 is International Cat Day. What is that? June, July, August. Yeah, August 8th is International Cat Day. That's the 88. So, you know, cat with the 88 Uno cards in the picture I took, and 8/8 is International Cat Day. So, just fucking weird shit like that constantly, like constantly. But anyway, Jesus, come on. Quiet for a second. Oh boy, a lot of people here at the drive through the convenience store. I don't know if I should get gas now or later. I think I'll get it later. I'm on lunch break, so I'm gonna get gas later. So I went over that. Oh yeah, the lock synchronicity. Let me pause it for a second and go buy something, and I'll come back and tell that story. Alright, I'm back. That's fucking stupid. Like, fucking... I don't know, man. Is it fucked up to just call somebody white trash? I don't know if y'all can hear playing some ghetto ass music, some white folk in their car over here. Okay, I wanted to talk about synchronicities. Goofy fucking synchronicities. So, I think it was yesterday actually. Yeah, it was yesterday. Yesterday morning, so my wife wakes me up. It's like at 6:30 in the morning. I was off yesterday, so she woke me up and told me that the front door, well, I don't know if she said the front door, I don't remember exactly, but something along the lines of the door is open to our house, like our other house that we moved out of into our new house that's on the same property. And I was like, oh shit, let me go check it out. You know, did somebody break in or what happened, you know? So I went to go check it out, and nothing happened, okay? Nobody broke in. It just so happened the twin French doors got jarred open in some way. I guess because I didn't lock it right. So I just have to assume that I didn't lock the latches correctly to the French doors, and the deadbolt itself wasn't enough to keep it locked. So it got open somehow. You know, I walk in immediately. It's like, I don't think it is a break-in. I think the doors just got jarred open because nothing was out of place really. One cat ran out because a cat was in there. So I double checked the house for critters, you know, raccoons, cats, and everything was fine. So nothing happened, okay? It was just, you know, I didn't latch it properly somehow, which is really fucking weird. I usually double check the latches. You know, I double checked the latches this time, made sure everything was locked up. I shoved on the doors, make sure they were closed. And then I barred it with a piece of furniture, just in case, you know, I don't know, just in case, whatever. So as that was happening, okay, I get a text from one of my coworkers, one of the other shift leads at the store where I work, and she asked me if I was having trouble with the front door the night before it closed, the last time I closed, which is the day before yesterday, well, the 2 days before yesterday. I closed, and we locked the doors from the outside with the key. And I always double check. I always shove on the doors and try to jar them open before I walk away into my car, right, as I'm closing. So I said, no, I don't think so. You know, I make sure it's locked, and that I try to jar it open just in case, just to make sure it's locked. And she said that yesterday morning, well, the day before yesterday, the girl had trouble locking it as well, and the doors weren't locked yesterday morning. So as all of this is happening with my own house, involving locked doors, right? Same thing, copy paste simulation. So we had that incident, and then at the exact same time, I'm being texted, is that a word? I'm receiving texts about another incident at my job involving a locked door. So I don't know what the fuck, you know, I'm just talking about synchronicity, okay? I don't know what it means. It's just very strange that shit like that happens. What else? I think that about covers it. I'm gonna go over my community post in a separate video, probably more than likely. So we'll just leave it at that. Y'all have a good day.
And I could say that Rufus found a kangaroo that followed Rufus home, and now that kangaroo belongs to Rufus Xavier Sarsaparilla. Whew, I could say that, but I don't have to, cause I got pronouns. I can say he found a kangaroo that followed him home, and now it is his.